Hi, my name is Corey, and today I'm going to show you how to calculate the value of a human life based upon how much they're willing to sell an hour for. Essentially, what somebody's willing to sell an hour of their life for is how much they make an hour, because they're agreeing that they would work for an hour of their life for that amount. So to find the average amount of how much an American makes, I looked up a statistic online that 51% of Americans make less than $30,000 a year. So that's about the median of the dollar amount that Americans make. Okay? So to figure out how much that is an hour, we're going to divide 30,000 by 52 weeks in a year. That's going to give us, rounded up, to be $578. Now, that's dollars a week. So divide that by the average work week. That's going to be rounded up. Well, the average work week is 40 hours a week, but that is going to equal about $15 an hour rounded up. Okay? So, in order to figure out how much output somebody could create in a year, we're not going to like try and calculate family and say sleep. We're just going to strictly speak we're just going to stick to the amount of time that they have. So the amount of time that somebody has is going to be 24 hours in a day and 365 days in a year. So we're multiplying $15 an hour times 24 hours in a day times 365 days in a year. That value is going to be $131,400. So if a person worked nonstop for a whole year at $15 an hour, that's how much they would make. So we need to figure out a set way to be able to pay somebody that amount every single year. And that's how much I'm going to say a human life, monetarily wise, essentially is worth based upon their work output. Okay? So, to figure out what dollar amount we need to invest into the stock market to get that amount of a year, we're going to have to decide a factor about how much the stock market yields per year. So I looked up the average, and the average said that it was right around 10%. And just to be more fair, I'm going to say that it's about 6%. Alright? So we're going to have to find X amount of dollars times 0.06, which is a percentage converted into a decimal, and we're going to set that equal to $131,000 and 400. So in order to solve for x, you're going to have to divide both sides by 0.06, and that's going to give us $2,190,000. Okay? So people are going to want to be paid at the beginning of every year. So in order to find the dollar amount that would be able to pay them and then still have this left over, we're just going to simply add that to the equation. To the number. And that's going to give us $2,321,400. And that's how much the average American's life is worth based upon how much they're willing to sell an hour of their labor for. Now, to figure out how much anybody's worth is based upon their output or how much they're willing to sell their life for. You can manipulate this work into an equation by substituting X for $15 an hour. So that way you can plug in any amount of dollars per hour that you want. Okay? So to do this, you're going to want to multiply X, which is the amount of dollars you would make an hour, and you're going to multiply that by 146,000 dollars, and that's going to give you how much you would need in the stock market to yield the amount per year. But remember that we had to add this piece, so you're going to add the amount that you make every year by 8,760. Now how I got these numbers is I got 146,000 by multiplying 24 and 365 and then dividing that by 0.06. So essentially you're just taking everything but this X piece. And then how I got 876,000 is just by multiplying 24 hours times 365 days in a year. That's how many hours roughly is in a full year. So if you wanted to go further, you could just add those two together. $146,000 plus 8,760. So you could just simply plug it in to X times 154,760, and that would give you the amount of money you would need to start essentially a trust fund to pay somebody to work nonstop. However, that's impossible, and this is just the theoretical value of a human life based upon the work output. Alright, so thank you for watching. I hope this isn't too morally questionable. Obviously, a human life can't be replicated, and everybody's uniquely themselves, so their value amount technically would be infinite because there's only one of them and it can't be replicated. So this is just more of a practical estimate and nothing to really base any major life decisions about. And like I said, just thanks for watching. I hope you found it as interesting as I did.